Okay, a frustrating reality for indie agencies. You're building brilliant campaign strategies, but you're stuck using third-party data that doesn't match your client's goals. Wasted spend in campaigns that miss the mark. Our consumer intelligence and data partner, Big Village, solves this. They give independent agencies enterprise-level audience intelligence, precise targeting, and real measurement without the enterprise complexity or cost. One agency using their platform saw 40 to 50% more accurate targeting and 25% better budget efficiency. It's the difference between close enough and exactly right. Ready to stop settling? Check out getbigvillage.com. Hi. Listen, it's been a minute since I've done this live, so thank you to Kyle O'Brien for doing the lion's share of the interviews lately. I've been in the kitchen. I've been in the kitchen a lot, and that's all good stuff because I want to thank all of our members and our sponsors. Our brief is very simple. Build the home for independent agencies. The mission is to serve indies and the brilliant people behind them. The goal is more visibility for indies and more choice for marketers. And we are close to 340 agency members around the world. And to our preferred partners, Big Village was one of them. And we've got a great group of preferred partners. And it's, you know, any of you who've built a business or you're at an agency where it's just like things start cooking, it's just like, this shit's fun. It's hard, but it's fun. And I'll tell you what else is going to be fun. Can you tell I was in radio? I'll tell you what else is fun. Speaking of preferred partners, Arima! Indies Rising, building an unfair advantage for marketers in Chicago. This is our summit. Thank you to Arima, Ray Kong, for that. Blood, Sweat, and Tears, holding down the first break. Also, Path Labs and Goodway Group. It's going to be a great time. We're working on the programming as we speak. If you want to learn more, just go to indieagency.news, click on the banner, get yourself signed up, and come join us in Chicago. I love Chicago so much. I was just there for planning, and thank you to Schaefer, Condon, Carter for offering up the space. This is going to be like legit, really fun. And the space is amazing because it looks right onto downtown, so into the skyline. And yeah, so we're super stoked. And let's just say I ate a lot while I was there. So, you know, what are you going to do? All right, but let's get to the task at hand here. So listen, we've seen the ad rankings. You got your USA Today. They picked their winners. Social media got yada. And my guess is your group chat's probably got some strong opinions about things here. But you know, the thing about rankings, they tell you what people like. They don't tell you why it worked, who made the smart bets, or what any of it actually means for the rest of us making ads the other 364 days of the year. And so we're going to get to this conversation here in a second. But before we do that, I want to share some work from one of our members, Quality Meats. We love it. Enjoy.
Once I danced upon your chest, covered your pecs, I did my best.
I was your scruff, your loyal friend, sworn to protect your dimpled chin.
But you stabbed me in the back
when you sliced me from the patch above your crack.
But with Manscaped I've met my demise, since you've chopped me from between your eyes.
And that bridge between your thighs,
and the awkward part of your tries.
Now that you've left us for dead,
how can I live without your head?
no matter how big or how small, we won't forget your face, your chest, or even your ball.
There we go. Wacky morning radio show for you. All right, that's enough.
Where's the sound?
Can we just like seriously, Brian?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for playing that. I'm a little. I get moved when I hear the song.
I mean, it's great. Oh, Lori. Oh no, her interwebs are doing this thing again. Lori, I'm just gonna hide you until you get that figured out. It's excellent work, Brian. Siedband from, I always mispronounce your name, Siedband.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's right.
Yeah, and then Paul B. Williams from Abalone Partners. Lori Golden will be joining us in a second when she figures out her interwebs. Abalone, one of our preferred partners. Thank you so much for supporting.
No worries.
And I think, listen, Quality Meats, just the word quality across the board, from the creative to the team across the business. Like, you guys are just quality across the board. So this is me possibly sucking up, but it's the truth. It's the God honest truth. So how do you, before we get into when we get Lori back, let's talk a little bit about what that philosophy is, Brian, because quality does matter across the board. So post this Super Bowl, how does everybody feel, and how does that fit within the ethos of Quality Meats?
Yeah, I mean, we have to live up to our name. It's
Right.
not Mediocre Meats. So it's very important to us that everything that goes out the door is quality. And we put that high bar, we put that lens on everything that we work on. And obviously, like, not everything is super high visible or can be super breakthrough, but like the ethos was like, we want to be known for adding a specific type of value to our clients, giving the work that bit of firepower. So post Super Bowl, like, this was a great opportunity for us. It's always great for an agency like as small as us to be on this big stage.
And that's the part that people forget. Like, when you look at the work, and I can say this about a lot of our members, when you look at the work, you're like, geez, that's got to be a team of 10,000. And it's just like, it's just a testament to the importance of understanding that all of it can come together in a way that sometimes when you have too many people, it turns into a camel, which is a horse by committee. And so that's what we will say internally, is like, I was just turning into a camel, and it's like, but talk a little bit about why because there's a little bit of edge, and one of the pieces of great creative can be constraint. And part of the constraint are the number of people that you have on a given project. So explain a little bit about why that constraint really matters and works really well.
Yeah, I mean, constrained in terms of like,
just like, you're not a 10, you're not 1,000 people, and it's a smaller team.
It's absolutely our superpower. We don't overthink things. We're able to move really quick. We all have like strong opinions, but we make decisions fast, and clients want that and appreciate that, and that's why they come to us. They want, I think, a more kind of nimble, faster moving approach. And with a client like Manscaped, I mean, they're very bold, and they put a lot of trust in us. That's a rare thing. I think we were lucky to have clients like that who were, so willing to kind of go big. Take a big swing.
Before we continue, please move your head to the right. What's that Emmy for?
Oh, it's kind of obnoxious. It's actually a regional Emmy. It's a Chicago.
Who cares?
Yeah.
There's nothing. I mean, Ron Burgundy was winning regional Emmys all the time.
No, but it's for this. It was for like a anti-gun violence PSA that we did.
Awesome.
That at least like it was something good. I mean, there's still gun violence, so it didn't work. But at least it was something like good that we're putting in the world. Not
Was that March 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got connected with Quality Meats.
That's right.
Talent work for March 4th. Yep.
I love it. So before we
relationships.
dig into the Super Bowl, Lori, that's a good professional segue here in broadcasting. Talk a little bit about Abalone Partners and the relationship that you've built with Quality Meats. So talk a little bit about the business that you're building, how you really help independent agencies, and how the Quality Meats thing started working out.
Sure. Well, I would echo some of what Brian said. Obviously, we're a specialty agency providing a very specific expertise and service in, celebrity talent, athlete, models, any known talent, high-level influencer, and then music licensing and IP. So it's a specific niche that we fill. And what we're finding is very similar to Brian, like clients like that we can jump really fast. There's less red tape. We can jump in creatively pretty much immediately. And we're super flexible with how we work with our clients, whether it's a lot of our work is with agencies and then some brand direct. When we've only been together, Paul and Chelsea and I, it's been less than 2 years. Chelsea founded Abalone about 3 years ago. So it has not been that long, but it's been, pretty exciting to be working with some of the indies, especially who I feel like are very like-minded. So the way I pursued Quality Meats relationship initially was I had been a volunteer helping with celebrity supporters for March 4th, the nonprofit Brian mentioned they did a PSA for. And I love the PSA, and then had just dug around more on the agency and asked March 4th for the intro. So I think that's when I was connected with Brian and Gordy. And then talked to, their accounts lead, Amy Edwards, who's awesome. And then slowly, there were needs before we had met, so it was kind of a bummer on timing, but then pretty quickly we started working on some music projects. We worked as a team member, basically an extension partner for GoDaddy last year for Super Bowl. And then there's been other work. So it's been awesome. And to us, I think, and Paul knows this and feels this as well, we all do. But if we could spend, majority of our time on smaller shops, I think it's thrilling when we have days like that. But anyway, long-winded answer.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Paul, who is the eyewear MVP of this show, let's dig into the Super Bowl. So let's start big picture. How would you say the year was? Strong year, mediocre year, and do the rankings really match what you saw? And where did they get it right and where did they get it wrong?
I think it was sort of a meh year to take a word from my 12-year-old daughter. I think there was some good creative, some that hit definitely at the heartstrings, and then you had a bunch of new technology and AI, which is cool just to see. And then you had some spots that I felt were just, and listen, we sign talent every day. I just think there was a lot of overuse of talent in weird ways. And again, that's our bread and butter, but I think like it was just a little bit over the top.
Yeah.
And it didn't match the create. Like I would watch it, and I watched them again, and I was just like, that's cool. Was that necessary? Was it necessary? Listen, I would have loved to have done those deals, but I think I would have still said, was it necessary afterwards? I say all that because I know a lot of work goes into it, like Brian mentioned and you mentioned. Like there's a ton of stuff that happens behind the scene that Lori and I are privy to have. Right, we're doing the talent deals, and conceptually on paper and everything might look great, and then you see it and it's just like, okay, maybe we didn't need to go that over the top. So I think that's kind of my sentiment behind everything. But I felt like it was mid.
Mid is a good way of putting it. I'm not a fan of the Coinbase stuff. I was just looking at that. That was one that stood out to me. Like, what?
Yeah.
And if you go back to the Murder Hornet show we did, the Super Duper show, you'll see the Coinbase story. Holy jeez. And I was at the Martin agency when our CEO went right after the CEO of Coinbase. So I have a little bit of history with that. And I was glad that their work was garbage. Anything to Brian, your thoughts on the overall?
Yeah, I mean, you brought up Coinbase. Coinbase definitely silenced the room when that came on. But I think collectively people were just kind of let down at the end of it, which is a disappointment. I don't know, as far as the Super Bowl goes in general, it's like, again, tons of celebrity. I feel like that's every year though. We're like, oh, it's all celebrities, so many celebrities. And then there's like, oh, then there's the ones that went for the heartstrings. It had all the things that it normally has. I thought there would be more AI because seemed to be like a lot of hype around it's the AI bowl. And there was some, but it wasn't like I don't think it defined it. There was some enjoyable stuff. There was some surprises, I would say, to me too. Like I didn't expect Claude to be so like broadly popular. I saw the Claude work and I was like, oh, this is really good work.
It was really good work.
Yeah. How is he going to play in the Super Bowl though? Like it doesn't have any Super Bowl ingredients. It's very insightful. It's awkward,
Yeah.
So comfortable, and it's quiet. So the fact that like landed, like, to me, that's exciting. That gives me faith.
Yeah.
Like insightful, smart, like well-crafted work landing in the Super Bowl. Broadly is huge.
Yeah. Mother London, one of our members as well. Kudos to them. Lori, what were some other surprises for you?
I think, and I know I wrote about this in an article this week, but I felt there should have been more Gen Z, attention to Gen Z. I do think some brands who didn't use talent, I think we're looking there. But I was looking across the talent that are super appealing to that demographic, and there were less than a handful, which I thought was a missed opportunity in a bunch of ways. So that surprised me. Benson Boone, I'm not surprised he was used. I bet he got a lot of calls on Super Bowl, but that was a missed opportunity. I also felt like it was, and it kind of goes along with the theme of, I guess, Paul saying they were mid. There weren't a lot of risks taken. It felt like even the humor, I did laugh. There were a lot of good spots that made me laugh. Like Duncan made me laugh, but there wasn't a risk there, or kind of like, hey, what could we do differently? Or maybe, like I said, I've said before, up and comers where it's not expected. It's not the talent who's been in a Super Bowl commercial every single year for the last 10 years, which there are some like that. I didn't think, I just thought that there could have been more risks in certain areas. And I also thought the humor just didn't deliver as much. And I've heard friends who do not work in advertising in any way or marketing say, I just didn't find as many as funny this year. Felt like a collective feeling.
So here's a provocative statement, and take it with a grain of salt, because I probably will get it wrong. If it stays on this path, there is an argument. I had this argument internally with some people. If the quality, no offense, Brian, if it keeps going like this, is there going to be an ad meter anymore? Like because even if, looking at it now, it's like, usually there's one or two where it's, Budweiser, is always going to be there, right? That's they've managed to really anchor that in. But there is this thinking that, it's really not, like, will it go away? And so I'm not asking you for an answer. I'm saying that's my dumb provocation. And if it comes true in 5 years, then I will be seen as a genius, but more likely it will be around and probably stronger. And then I'm going to be made to look like a moron. So I don't even know why I brought it up. Maybe I should have just kept that inside voice. Maybe that probably should have.
I did think it was interesting because the top two spots on Ad Meter were both like pulling at the heartstrings, a little nostalgia.
Yeah.
Right. They weren't humorous spots. They were right? Yeah, because the Budweiser and the second was Lay's, right? I believe was number
Yeah.
2.
I liked the Sabrina Carpenter Pringles ad, by the way, a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty low down too.
She's
I liked
so funny.
Yeah, it was so low on it. Yeah. Wow.
I know. That
Yeah.
surprised me. That surprised me.
Yeah.
I actually thought Andy Samberg Hellman's was pretty funny.
It was all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
The tight end spot for as far as pharma, I
Yes.
thought that was a hit. Like
That was good.
That worked out.
Yeah. No, that's
That was a
good.
very smart use of talent.
Yeah.
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 What about before the game? Who did well? And I'm not. This gets into another argument, like old school argument of, I'm not a fan of here's what I told people. I didn't even pay attention to anything, mainly because I was head down on all this other stuff. But it was kind of nice to come in, not having any preconceived ideas, not really seeing any teasers. But who did well before the game? And I'm not a fan, but I also get it. You're a brand. You're investing a ton of money in this, so you need to squeeze as much out of that onion as you can. But which brands played the pregame smartest? Who wants that jump ball?
I'll go. I feel like, from what I saw overall, it was pretty traditional this year in terms of like dropping a traditional teaser, dropping the spot early. Some brands drop spots like 2 weeks, 3 weeks early. But there were no, like, I'm always looking for like, oh, who's the CeraVe or who's the,
good point.
Who's going to change it up or really surprise. And the only one, there was one that I thought did that at least that I noticed, which was like Bosch with the Guy Fieri thing.
I liked that a lot.
I liked that one too.
I like Guy Fieri. I don't care what y'all say.
No, I was a fan of that spot. I was a fan. What do you guys think about? It seems like it's getting earlier and earlier every year that they put the teasers out. Like,
oh yeah, no, it's like when Christmas comes out. It's like August. It's like talking about Christmas now. Yeah.
Do you think that makes the spots actually fall flat?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
So
there's no
excited
surprise.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about Super Bowl advertising traditionally that has been such a great hook is you're going to be surprised. I remember, I'm trying to think how many years ago, I'm saying roughly like 5-6 years ago at a friend's house. And, they all look at me like, oh, you're the editor for Adweek or whatever. And tell us what you think. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I want to know what you think. And so when the commercials would start, the room would get quiet and there was anticipation and And I just, there's, I don't know what my point is other than there's something to that now.
Now there's a bit of a strategy though now where it's like, if you don't drop it, then
totally get it.
Really, you can surprise people. You can be the one who, didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. I'm more of like my philosophy would be if I were advising a brand, which I'm not, do real surprise and then long tail the living hell out of it instead of like short tailing it, hit, and then the long tail actually might be shorter. And so you might lose some impact. I just think if you're thinking long tail and then build off of it, because then you're going to get the data back.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get that because you're creating such a big surprise that then it's like, oh, the consumers were saying this, and this. Now you've got your agency and your internal teams together working on how do we stack this? How do we stack this? How do we stack this? And then you let it glide out. And I just feel like there's going to be more impact on that. But I also understand if you're a brand that, you have to talk to the CFO from time to time.
Well, I think so go ahead, Laura.
I was going to say, I think a good example of that and probably why I love it so much for many ways was GoDaddy last year. And yes, I'm, kudos to ourselves because we worked on it, but when clearly Quality Meats was working on, the creative with GoDaddy and they created, the product line, the Goggins goggles, and then all of that. And then it continued on when Walton exploded on White Lotus, the campaign kept going. That was a good long game, but also still a great use of like teasers. I'm a fan of teasers. I like to get excited over the spot.
Yeah, I agree.
But not see, I don't want to see it. My ideal, I guess, if we could go back in time, go back to where we watched them all, but then add the teasers, that I think is, I think it would make a bigger mark on people. So I'm kind of hoping there's a bit of a wave there and more brands going back to keeping it a surprise element. But no, I think like Raisin Bran, I thought was interesting. Like the way they did the William Shatner stuff, and that was a good way to tease and surprise. Anyway.
Well, let's talk about we've talked about talent a bit, and Paul, I'll kick it over to you. Which brands top 3 that made the best talent decisions?
I think Duncan was good. I like
that's always fun. Like Boston stuff is funny to me. I'll do Boston stuff all day.
The Duncan stuff was good. I know some people didn't really like the AI included in there. I thought it was good. I mean, to take me back to the 90s and that nostalgia was great. I mentioned before the Novartis stuff with the tight ends. I like that concept. And then would you say 3?
Yeah. Well, however many you want.
I like the Bosch stuff with Just a Guy and Guy Fieri. And then some others, just incorporated the music, like Levi's, I thought was cool.
Yeah.
With the
listen, Doechii
Brown
can do
track.
no wrong to me.
What was that?
Doechii can do no wrong.
Yeah, Doechii, and then the track in there that they used, the James Brown track, was awesome too. So
yeah,
I think those were sort of my favorites.
Okay.
Yeah,
Lori?
for music, was it Redfin that did
Mr.
Rogers?
Yeah, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done music wise. There were a handful. Yeah, I agree with Paul. I was a little disappointed on some of the Gen Z misses. I actually kind of liked the Michelob Ultra, Kurt Russell, and then incorporating an Olympic athlete and all of that. I thought it was timely, and they went after multiple demographics, which was great. I agree on Novartis. I thought that was super smart.
Yeah. There's an artist. Wait, so Brian's from Chicago. We need more Wilco.
Love Wilco.
And I'm from Minneapolis originally. We need more Jayhawks. which is me explaining that in 1995 I saw Wilco open for the Jayhawks. That's how old I am.
Really?
Yeah. That's how old I am. I'd like to see a Wilco Jayhawks mashup again. It'd be great. I think it'd be really good. Let's do this little thought experiment. If you could send one message to every CMO and agency planning their Super Bowl strategy for next year, what is it? What do we need to see more of? What do we need to stop immediately? What do we need to see in the middle? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm going to start with Lori, because I know she's chomping at the bit on this one.
I mentioned a few, but my big piece is think bigger. That I know that you can't get to every single consumer, every single person who's watching the Super Bowl. I think you can go wider for the brands that need and want to. And that means whether, an excellent spot like Manscaped where you're not using talent or you are using talent. I think it's something they need to keep in mind because it's, a huge audience and a good time to catch the attention, especially for Gen Z. Women, but I do think there was some decent going for the female audience. And then I would say when you're analyzing talent or music or IP, think about are consumers going to look at this and understand the why they make sense, or are they going to watch this as, oh, they just threw a lot of money at this person because they're a big name?
People know this now. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for authenticity think about authenticity. So is it a person who makes sense? And don't get me wrong, a ton of brands do that right and do think about that. But I do think sometimes people just get so excited over Super Bowl spend. Hey, we've got to go big. And then that gets missed in the discussions.
I do need to point out though, in the Manscaped ad, that hairball that gets flushed down the toilet at the end, that hairball is SAG-AFTRA. So that hairball got paid scale. So I need you to understand, you're sitting here, no celebrity. He's a celebrity. I mean, he's in the sewer system. And
Yeah, he's his
wherever it
own
was shot.
celebrity now.
It's very sad what happened to him. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what though? It's
Yes,
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Brian, your answer to that question.
It would be that sometimes the loudest work isn't the loudest.
Mm.
And remembering that and having faith in that and having a bit of restraint. I mean, going back to the Claude thing,
Right.
surprising that won, but like restored faith a bit, that broadly that resonated. And it goes to show that like really smart insight executed really well, crafted like really well, will win. And you don't need to throw in celebrity for the sake of celebrities. If you're using celebrity, great. There's oftentimes reason to, but make sure it's built into the idea. And if you take the celebrity out, it falls apart. That said, I mean, I did love like Instacart was probably one of my favorite things, but exception to rule, just because that was so well crafted and fun.
Right.
But that would be the lesson of like, have a little faith in the idea and and execute it with restraint.
Well, one of the things I do talk about a lot is restraint is such an underrated superpower, but that's a show for another time. Paul, your answer to that question.
Sound pretty boring, but I echo both Brian and Laura.
Ditto.
I think the only thing that I would add is you guys brought up a good point about the spot tailing off and having legs after the Super Bowl. I think what you can do is obviously be strategic about talent. Look at up and comers, right? That might be on the cusp that, like, hey, if the show is going to pop or they're going to be doing something, you ride that wave with them. Because I think you get those ancillary legs with that after the Super Bowl. So if you package it up where there's a nice, teaser, the spot is good and well thought out and strategic, and then you add in the talent that's the up and comer, and they've got some stuff going on that you could highlight around those tent poles. I think that's a win.
Cool. I gotta see which music I got going here. It's so funny. This is from our top 40. Speaking of which, this is a good time for me to talk about that. Indie Agency News Top 40 Classic. This is our work. This is for the work. And then second is people and agencies. That's our People Award, second half of the year. But go to indieagency.news because we want to see your work. Also, if you want to be on the jury, and I'm talking to you, all three of you on this call, get over there and check it out. Listen, love the point of view here. Appreciate the three of you joining us. I'm going to put you backstage, but let's all keep on keeping on, yeah?
Awesome.
All right.
Great seeing you guys.
Don't go away. This isn't a Zoom call. Here we go. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. A reminder, go to indieagency.news. Lots of stuff going on there. Learn about our Leadership Summit in Chicago. I did mention the top 40. We'll have more on that coming up soon. But again, to all of our members and to all of our partners, thanks so much for supporting this mission. I can't even talk today. It's Friday. On behalf of everybody at Indie Agency News, I'm Doug Zanger. See you next time.